What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a different episode, but it's definitely cool and definitely unique. So my friend just got a Barra from Australia and he's torn it apart and we're gonna get ready to build it. It's just a really cool thing. So I wanted to make a video talking about it, what the Barra is, how much power he's trying to make out of it, what car that's gonna go in it. There's not gonna be a car that goes in it. What car it's going to go into, thank goodness, and just the different plans for this, because I am going to be making a series on the channel of the Barra build, from building it to the ground up, and we'll tell you later what the horsepower goal for it is. But it's definitely a fun build. It's definitely unique, especially here in the States. You don't ever hear about a Barra in the States. I think Adam LZ is the one who did it, but there's just a couple here and there. But it's going to be really different, really unique, and we're super excited to get started on this thing. So we're going to go over there, check it out, and talk about it, and fill you in. All right, I'll see you guys.
Wait a minute, if you're watching, I've got a 6-year-old blonde boy for sale.
Alright, so we made it over to Justin's house, and this is Justin. You've seen him in a bunch of videos, but if you're new to the channel, this is Justin, and he bought a Ford Barra that I've been wanting for a long time, but he has it, so...
I got it first.
Yeah, turd. Yeah, because a little background about it, because he wanted to put it in a 65 Mustang, which was cool, a notchback. And then he changed his mind.
Yep. Ford Fairlane, 66, 67 with the stacked headlights.
It looks good. Those are really cool cars, but I bet that's expensive too, most likely. Yeah.
It's all expensive right now. All the older model vehicles are just, the prices are going up and up and up.
So he hit me up and was talking about Fox Body. He's like, I know you wanted to do that. And I was like, I've been telling you to do Fox Body for the longest time. So... I think that's what the direction of this Barra motor is, as you just saw in the little previous clip of all. It's all torn apart already. It's all ready for the machine shop. He tore it apart in like a weekend. It was wild. I wish I would have got that on film, but he has some...
I got a little bit of coverage of that. I mean, honestly, once I started getting into it, I was just in the zone.
Yeah.
Pulling everything apart.
So the idea behind the Barra is, and it's over there, if you didn't know. We're pointing at it. But, so, the idea behind it is, I was talking about it a ton, and I wouldn't shut up, really, because I get weird like that. I get OCD, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool, it's so cool. So Justin was like, he was about to build a project car anyway, and so he just went and did his own research and ended up picking up the Barra.
Yeah, I fell in love with it. This guy would not shut his mouth about this Barra engine, dude. I'm like, all right, now I have to research it, look into it, and I mean, the first video I pull up of this car is just an 8-second quarter-mile first-gen Mustang, and it was almost game over at that point. I saw that. It's pulling the front end off this car. Torque is insane. And I started researching into the engine itself, and it's legit. It's a 2J. It's just beefier.
Yeah, like, since we're in the States, we don't really get to see too much of the Barra, but if you go on and really do your research and start looking at Australian cars that use the Barra, it's like the LS. It's like the LS of Australia, because you can get them at the junkyard for $300-400, and they make tons of power. He got actually a BA or BF?
I got a BA.
BA.
It's it's a Territory, which is not as a cool story as some of the other cars that they have in Australia, but the Territory is like their SUV. And the guy I purchased it through, the way he was explaining, he's like, look, he had one left, and that's kind of the direction it was going. I was like, dude, what is it? Tell me about it. He's like, well, it depends. Are you just going to throw it in something and drive it? I was like, no, I plan on doing a full build. He's like, oh, perfect. He's like, it's even cheaper than the FG because it doesn't come with the turbo and all that fun stuff. So I ended up getting a really good deal, knowing that I was going to go into this and do the bottom end, do the top end, and push as much power out as I possibly can. I mean, I think we're going to shoot for I say 1,200. 1,000 to 1,200 is my goal.
And it's a built bottom end. It's a stock block, but built bottom end. It should be able to handle the power. And it's going to be a cool build at the end of the day. It's just, for where we're at in the United States, no one has it. You know, like
It's unique.
Yeah, it's
Right
unique.
now. And just the sound of this engine is beautiful.
But let's talk about the actual build, because we've just been talking how cool it is.
Yeah.
But what?
So much.
Yeah. So I think what's the plan for? I guess let's just not stop. Let's start at the top and work our way to the bottom. So for the head, what's like the plan for the head?
So these heads, they say on a stock head you can get a lot of power out of them. Unfortunately, the cams kind of cap out. If you're going to go with the stock cams, they cap out at a red line. You're looking for power curve to the red line is like 5,600 RPM. For me, I'm not satisfied with 5,600. So I've had to kind of start digging into camshafts now. And there's a couple companies out there that make some pretty decent ones. There's also a guy that custom grinds some for specifically what I was looking for. The pricing's not bad either, because I honestly want to have an 8,000 RPM setup. Some guys are pushing 8,500, but they say that's kind of pushing it. Unless you like de-stroke these things, then you're safer. But I don't want to do any of the de-stroking stuff. So we're definitely looking at some bigger lift on the cams, so we get some more air through it. I bought the valve springs. The valves, they said, are tough enough in these, so I didn't have to replace the valves. They just said polish them up, get them cleaned, throw them in there with the new valve springs. Titanium retainers. Yeah. We're main studs and head studs are always.
Yeah,
that's gonna have to happen. The guy I bought the engine off of, the big thing he had mentioned too is like make sure you go get the oversized washers, so you don't have any head lift. You don't have to worry about head lift at that point, using the head studs and the overhead washers. So I picked up all that fun stuff. I got a whole box full of toys here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the bottom end is really what I'm waiting on. And they say these cranks, you know, as long as you're using a girdle, which is another thing I'll have to look into. There's only one company that I'm really intrigued by. It's Atomic, who makes a nice crank girdle for it, but they're always out of stock. Every part for this engine seems to be $1,000.
Yeah.
Intake manifold, $1,000.
If you look.
Exhaust manifold, $1,000.
So
yeah, it's.
And Plasma Man's like one of the only companies that really makes a lot of stuff for it. All right, so we're getting pretty off topic. So if we're working down to the bottom, so pistons, rods, and pistons, rods.
Pistons and rods. So the Spool makes a kit that everyone says to go with it because it's cheap and it's easy. These guys are all saying go with the I-beams, go with the I-beams, and it probably has to do with the weight reduction.
So we're thinking I-beam rods, and what kind of pistons then?
CPs look pretty nice.
That's what I have in my Fox body.
I think that's probably the direction I'll go with the pistons. And plus, if I go with Spool, most of those come with the CP forged piston.
So and then stock crank, you're not changing the crank.
No, I'm gonna stick with the stock crank because at the end of the day, I'm not going for insane horsepower. I'm not looking for 1,800 horsepower, 2,000 horsepower. I want a good 1,000, 1,200.
Like 1,200 isn't I guess for a Barra it's not. Like from what I've read and what he's read, it seems like it's not.
In Australia,
really
these guys are just pushing these engines. It's unbelievable. But honestly, that's the entirety of this engine. Is the main things are doing the billet oil pump gear.
Oh yeah.
That was like the first thing everyone talks about is that for some reason. So I don't know if that's like a big.
It's
issue.
like a Coyote thing.
We picked that up. I have that.
Yeah, he's got a goodie bag full of
I got a box full of fun parts here, but I can't do anything yet because it's got to go to the machine shop, and I need the measurements after they hone it, because I don't know if they have to over hone it, and I need to know what size
pistons and rings you need.
The rings to go with, yeah.
And so the thing is, BA, right? BA is its front sump, and so he is trying to go to the Fox body, which you need a rear sump for.
Yeah.
And so that's something, but Barra Swap seemed to be really cool about that, and they're telling him, right, that you can just swap out the pan and a couple other little things. It seems like into the Fox body, it's pretty easy. They have a kit for it. Like, it's been done. I just don't think, like, a build has been done on YouTube about it, and that's kind of what we were wanting to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's like kind of the build on it is a Fox body. That's the plan now. And then cams, pistons, rods, stock crank, and just little things here and there, but the whole build is going to encompass everything from start to finish. Machine shop, putting it together, assembling it, and then putting it in the Fox body, and then wiring harness, and I think Haltech, I think.
I think we're gonna go with Haltech, which I'm going with an auto trans.
Yeah, C4, right?
Yeah, I think it was gonna be a C4. I mean, if I could find a Power Glide for a good price, I would do it, but
expensive. Yeah. Yeah, we don't know a whole lot about, I mean, the Barra motor in general. This is like a big learning experience for
the aftermarket. Here in the States, the aftermarket's not there. So everything that you search for this thing, you gotta reach out to somebody who knows somebody in Australia, or what websites to be Googling up. I mean, there's a few companies out there that, you know, a few websites out there that you can find a lot of information, but real world experience is kind of where I like to hear this stuff, because you can go out all day and hear about parts. You know, China is starting to make cranks for these now too, but you know, you hear different things in blogs. Don't buy the China cranks because they'll break. So it's kind of a learning curve.
There's not a lot of information when you Google it.
Yeah.
It's
in
hard.
YouTube, you can. I mean, there's some stuff on YouTube. Not much of a breakdown of the engines. You might find a few videos on guys, you know, pulling these things apart, but for the most part, it's just easy stuff. You know, pulling the valve timing chain off, or pulling the covers off. So it's
the only thing I've ever seen about that is Adam LZ. They don't talk about anything. They just throw it together. Like, we made 900 horsepower on 20 psi. It's like, that's cool.
Which I want to say that too.
Yeah, but it's like, how did you do that? How did you build that? And that's kind of like what these videos that we're going to be making are going to be about, is like exactly what we're doing, how we did it, just so anybody else that's thinking about buying the engine, that wants to buy the engine, can actually have some kind of reference. Because that's pretty much what my channel is showing everybody what I'm doing, how I did it, what I had to do to make it work. So we're going to take this build that he's doing, and I'm going to make the same kind of content out of it, and so you can actually have a good understanding of what we did, how we did it, how you could do it, and hopefully it'll be helpful to everybody watching this at home.
The whole point of this is I want to do almost everything. As much as I can do myself. Obviously machining, I'm not going to do that. It's just, like I said, it's a full learning experience. Unfortunately, you know, we're learning on an Australian engine that
it's even more different.
No idea about, but it'll be fun. It's going to be...
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. This whole build's going to be really fun. Yeah. I mean, I just think the Barra is so cool, and I think a lot of people are getting into the Barra, so I just wanted to make this video to show what's going to happen and what we're doing right now, and it's already started. Like, I'm a little late to this because it is already torn apart and everything, but it's just something that we're able to do now, and it's going to be really cool, I think, for my channel, and just to get the word out there about the Barra and get some knowledge so it can help people. But that's really the goal of it, is to share with everybody what we're doing and the goal of it, and show that Fords make cool
it's different.
engines. Yeah, it's different. It's just unique. It's unique.
I think everyone will have fun starting to research into these things.
Yeah, but that's the build so far. That's as far as we've gotten into it. But I am going to be updating you guys as much as I can, because it is going to be getting built, and so I'm going to be coming over here a lot and building it, and then he's going to be helping me finish the Mustang. This is going to be part of the content from my channel now, so if you like some Barra stuff or you just think it's a cool thing, make sure to hit the subscribe button, smash that like button, and hit the bell so you stay updated and you can hang out with us. And thanks again, guys, for the support and making it to my channel and watching through the whole thing if you made it this far. We do really appreciate it. It is... we appreciate it. Thank you guys for hanging out. So on that, we'll catch you guys on the next video.
Nice formally meeting everybody.
Oh yeah, he's belly tapper. All right. But
not on your little Nintendo.
On the Switch.
What?
He's looking in the air, and he sniped in the air and killed me.
He sniped you.
He stream sniped you? Is that what you said?
Oh, he sniped.
No, he stream sniped you, right?
Yeah, he did.
It
It was a noob.
It was a noob.
Those
and he stream
noobs, man,
sniped.
they're
They're watching my stream and they're sniping. That's what.
Their buddies watching from another.
So there's this person. There was a
Another
lobby
computer.
behind those with the hill, so I was